Next, you said some good questions over Kanye West's $7 million.
So I wanted to ask you this
He
question.
borrowed it from you.
This is a I wanted to ask you this question. Do you think he's a genius or do you think he's crazy? Or is he a crazy genius?
But yeah, he's a crazy genius. Yeah.
So if you guys didn't know, I didn't see this ad for some reason. I don't know if it aired in every market, but his team sent him a report saying that he spent $7 million on his Super Bowl slot. So meaning he had a Super Bowl halftime show slot, and he generated $19.3 million in sales in less than 24 hours. But
damn,
but
19.
19.3 million. So I guess he dropped like AirPods and he dropped pants and suits, jackets, whatever from Yeezys.
Okay.
And he had no ads, no script. He did it from his iPhone. And he was like, I'm not spending any money on his ad in terms of production. You guys get what I give you. And if it makes me money, it makes me money.
I like it.
So is he a genius?
I wish more people would think like him. I'm gonna put this out there and let y'all do what it do. How many people do you know haven't launched their cleaning business because they don't know what color their logo is gonna be?
Oh, now we get into it.
So I didn't know all this till you text me this earlier, and now that you say this far, I wish more people would just throw it out there. I sent you my logo that I'm working on for my next layer for my notary business, right?
Yep.
It's an extra layer of fingerprinting that I'm doing in Georgia, in Atlanta. He sent me 3. I picked one. I sent it to you. I sent it to my community. Hey, guys, which one works the best? I sent it back to him in 10 minutes. I'll change it later if I want to.
Mm-hmm.
I wish more people had that. So I'm all for throwing it out there, letting it stick. And look, 7 million to him is probably like 700 or $70 to us, right? So he got a lot of money to try. But I wish more people would just try shit and throw it out there and let it stick.
So
what say you, sir?
So I don't know if I could do that. I think you get to a certain point in your career where you procrastinate due to perfection. And I think Kanye is that level of genius where he wants things to be so perfect. And he's okay with making mistakes, but he wants things to be so perfect. So for him to say, I'm going to spend $7 million on an ad for a new product line and record it from his iPhone selfie. He got his fronts in his mouth. He's look like in the back of a taxi or Uber or a cab.
Let me see if we can find it.
I'm
gonna look on mine. You can keep going.
He's in the back of an Uber or a taxi or a cab, and it's a forward-facing video, just him telling you like, "Yo, hopefully we could just put the words at the bottom." And by the end of the ad, he said, "I want you to go to Yeezy.com."
Hold on, so all that's in there? Wow. Oh wow. Okay, I found it.
So it didn't, for some reason, it didn't air in all markets either. So I didn't see it in Dallas. I asked my friends if they saw it. One person said they did. Some people said they didn't. So I'm not even sure if this ad was a real. I don't know if it was a social media stunt, but according
whatever it is, people talking about it.
Oh, yep, right there.
Yeah, play it. Let me play it.
And it's my commercial. And since we spent all the money on the commercial spot, we actually didn't spend any money on the actual commercial. But the idea is, I want you to go to Yeezy.com, YEEZY.com, and I'm gonna write it at the bottom of the screen. And I got some shoes, and that's it.
Oh, I love it. I love this even more now that I watched it.
But that was an excellent use of his time. He had a call to action. He told you what he wanted you to do. But I think here's what a genius.
And he had one thing to sell.
He had one thing to sell. He's at Yeezy.com. I got some sneakers, some jeans. You guys go there and choose what you want. But I think what makes it even more nuts is that social media is going crazy for it. We're talking about it here. That he posted a picture on his page about the incoming report from his sales manager They had 284,000 orders in 24 hours, 19.3 million, and his album Vultures finished the day at #1 in 100 countries. So now we're sharing it. We're talking about it. It's going to go crazy. Is he a genius? Is he this? And this is what is going to, this is where the real money is going to be made after the fact. Could you have posted a Super Bowl commercial like that?
Yeah.
For the $7 million.
All right, now I don't even have $1 million, so it's tough for me to make that correlation. But let me tell you guys, as a practical, doing well,
break it down and break it down in our form.
Okay, so I've made a solid few $100,000 with some basic stuff.
Okay.
And I've had well-produced stuff that didn't hit. That didn't hit right away. Some of it, hit later on. But some of my most basic stuff, post videos, call to actions, had made me like a few hundo over the past few years. So he threw something out there. Whether he knew this would work or not, he threw something out there. And, let me tell people who make between 50 and 150 right now, I would challenge you, throw something out there. Use your cell phone. I've been told by some people, I was watching the Country Wayne, and he says that they shoot all their skits on cell phones, no microphones, because it's more real. My film guy says that we're going to keep the audio a bunch of times, even though I think it should be edited. We're going to keep it because of the conversion. You don't know what's going to work until it's out there. He threw it out there. Look what stuck. I fight people all the time. Yo, get on YouTube with me. Let me email this out. Let's see if it leaks somewhere. You're Dre, it ain't this, it ain't that. Is your phone number there? Is your email there? Okay, no website yet. Instagram page, is something there. You have the chance to make a sale when we have something out there in the world. I love it. 10 out of 10.
So I love the fact that he was fearless enough to do that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say I have that same level of fearlessness at this stage. And that's one of the challenges me and Janoka go through as well, is that I think you get to this certain stage where you've done things at that level where I'm just going to post it. No edits, no captions, no nothing. Yeah. And then you get to the point where you're always in your head. You're always thinking about what comes next. You're always thinking about the challenges. You're always thinking about, is someone going to like this? Is someone going to enjoy it? Is someone going to want to charge back? And you want to make it so perfect that you never put it out there. And I think a lot of us face that procrastination due to perfection because of our own internal fears. And I think he's getting over that stage in his life where he just doesn't care anymore, which is a good and it's a challenging thing sometimes. So I don't want to say I love it. I think for $7 million, $19 million return, expenses, whatever it is, I think Yeezy did what he had to do. I would have liked to see a nice commercial with, we know he's talented. We know he had the production. We know it would have been super amazing and awesome. But he chose not to. And I'm just curious as to why.
Whatever the reason is, he did something. So
that's the moral right there. Do something, guys.
For everyone in your community who listens to for everyone who listened to the audio version, or everyone watching YouTube now or later, do something. You have the chance to make money when you do something. Next one, Anthony.
I'm on his site right now, and it's literally Yeezy.com. And it looks like it was all right, let's just throw this together. Let's make some money.
Simple works, man.
We got his vinyl up there.
Simple works.
He got his album or his song also went one top. It did what it was supposed to do.
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
So this was
not knowing the overtime rules. Okay. Two separate questions or one question?
So this one is the same. This is the same topic right here.
Okay.
So staying ready so you don't have to get ready. In business, in personal, in life, or in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
There were two players in the Super Bowl, and they had two quotes about the overtime rules. Now, I know we didn't talk much about the Super Bowl, but we're talking about everything that went on with it. But we're talking about staying ready so you have to get ready. So one of the players admitted that he didn't know the new overtime rules.
Which is what exactly?
So essentially, you flip a coin. Whoever gets the ball first, you score first. The other team gets the ability to score on you. And if they don't, you win the game.
Okay.
So essentially, he said, "Oh, I thought you get the ball and then you score and you win." But the other team gets the ability. It's kind of like
It's the locks and dipset at the versus battle.
they didn't
More
know the
prepared.
rules.
More prepared.
You see what happens when you don't know the rules. So essentially, he didn't know the rules, and the linebacker for the Chiefs said their team had an overtime presentation and strategy meeting every week of the playoffs,
Overly prepared like a mug.
and twice in their Super Bowl preparation.
Mm.
But I'm like, overtime doesn't happen in football much. But they said just in case it does, we're gonna be ready,
And they were.
and they were. So stay ready, so you have to get ready. What's your takeaway on that one?
People would be so. What I learned is from coaching so many damn people now is a lot of people don't think it's gonna work, so they don't prepare. But when calls come in for a notary job, for a cleaning job, now they're frantic, emailing, DMing, hey, I emailed you guys, I got a call, what do I do? Well, it's here. It's in the PDFs that I sent you 5 fucking times, but that you didn't read or come to the coaching calls. I told you this would work. You paid me $2,000, but you didn't do the boring work.
Boring stuff. There it is.
That's it.
Keep going. Go a little deeper on that one.
The boring stuff that prepares you for the success. But when you believe you'll be successful, when you believe your coach, your mentor, that is going to work, when you believe the other students, you have a higher likelihood of doing all the boring stuff, which is going to lead to the money. Now we're at the money. You don't know what to do. Some people, like, literally, they're scared to answer their phone because they're nervous now. But if you would come to the calls, practice, the coaching calls, the rehearsals, where we literally do phone role play at least once every 6 weeks. You would have been prepared for the money. He would have prepared for the overtime, the boring stuff. It's not fun.
But what about when Allen Iverson said practice? We talking about practice. I miss practice. So now we thinking we don't have to show up to practice anymore.
Allen Iverson also didn't win a ring.
Oh,
he doesn't have a ring.
okay. Now you just got saucy on him on that one.
He doesn't. So I know a lot of smart people. I know a lot of people who are too smart. Actually, a lot of people who are just too smart for their own good, fam. They should be dumb like me, and they don't like the practice. They don't like this stuff because they don't. Well, I shouldn't have to. Marketing. They should just listen to me. Now, I hear what you're saying, and I actually agree with it. But marketing is for the customer. It's what will make the customer know, like, and trust you and buy from you.
Mm-hmm.
If you aren't thinking about the end goal, the end product, the conversion, you're just going to not do the boring shit because you might. And also entitlement comes into this. There are some people who are too entitled to do the boring stuff. They just feel too good about themselves. I don't need to. I shouldn't have to. I'm good enough. I'm better than him. Yeah, but he is better marketing. So whatever he did, cell phone, fancy camera, ring light, Canon, he did something that you didn't do. So he makes $100 a month. You make $4,000 a month.
Or you lose the Super Bowl.
Or you lose the Super Bowl. It's crazy.
Because you didn't know the rules. But the other team who won the Super Bowl, they came to practice. So they practice for something that doesn't happen often in a sport, which is absolutely nuts. And you nailed it when you said doing the boring stuff. So you mean to tell me that I should show up to practice to learn about overtime rules?
Yeah.
And I should show up for a strategy meeting about overtime rules?
There's a chance that it can happen.
But it doesn't happen often.
There's a chance. So you mean there's a chance, at a Dumb and Dumber. There's a chance that can happen. So you're married. You've been at the game for 12, 15 years. I have relationships off and on for 12, 15 years. Right. So I approach women, right, all the time because my goal is a long-term committed relationship, right? Whether it's formal marriage, our own, whatever, long-term relationship. So every woman I approach, I know it's crazy, Anthony, every woman doesn't like me. Wild.
Mm,
Every woman doesn't
that's
like that.
nuts.
But out of 10 women, 2 to 5. It's
Okay.
kind of my ratio, depending on what I'm wearing, where I'm at, 2 to 5. I'm still going to keep approaching to get. So the numbers aren't in my favor. The numbers are not in my favor. I'm probably going to hear no more than yes. I'm still going to holla at the chick. I'm going to holla at the lady in hopes that we can grow something and see where it goes. How prepared are you?
That reminds me of this Steph Curry stat. They said that he takes more shots. So if you Steph Curry's 3-point shooting is like 40%, something nuts, whatever it
Yeah.
is. I don't know his stats. But they
Hmm.
said that's the in-game shooting percentage. They said his total practice shooting percentage is like 10% go in. So the
Hmm.
40% that you're seeing are the ones that he's taking live in the game. But
Live in
over
the
the course of his entire life, the entire
game. Hmm.
shots he's actually taken, only 10% of them actually went in.
He's still shooting.
He's just shooting.
He's still shooting. And
He's prepared for the game. So stay ready so you have to get ready.
if more people had that approach, they would be a lot more successful, fam. They would be a lot more successful. And it's the frantic, man, I got this call, what do I do? They want a loan close, what I do. Fam, I literally have, I know I did because I checked the portal. There's 8 hours on how to do that in the portal.
Mm.
I sent that to you. I told you where it was. You didn't. I'm not telling you what to do now because now they need to get in the habit of being prepared. I'm not being a good coach if I'm not if I'm giving you the out every time you have this frantic panic attack. No, learn business. Business is boring. Learn it. Learn. Schedule your day. I tell people, Anthony, for our industry, it's probably the same for yours or similar. If you put in 45 minutes to an hour and change, 4 to 5 days a week, you're ahead of 90% of people. Now, if you go more than that, you're solid, but 45 minutes to an hour plus 4 to 5 days a week, you cooking. You are literally cooking. So yes, I'm 1,000% be prepared. Be
That's
prepared.
that hour a day. When people ask me how long does it take you to get started in this business, I say if you could put an hour to 2 hours a day, you'll be fine. But
You
most
cooking.
of the time, that's too much for some people.
Well, here's the thing. It has to be undisturbed hours. It has to be undisturbed hours, right? So it can't be you, Instagram, YouTube, and in the portal. It's you in the portal. It's
Mm,
you in the notes. If it's on YouTube, you're going to YouTube to reference what we went over or cross reference.
yep.
But I tell people, look, you might have to study at 12 a.m. That's when, you know, if you're a lady, you got marital, air quote duties. That's when everything is over. You got to go study then. You may have to study on your lunch break.
Hmm.
You having a job, is your friend because it forces you to use the time when you're not working to work on your business. I might go
That's
get
it.
a job just so I can get hungrier because at the gig, I would I would sometimes stay at work for hours and work on the business stuff. I wouldn't even go home. I was until 8 o'clock at night sometimes. So yeah, fam, like your hours might be really crazy hours, but that's your life. You got kids. Don't if you know you have to take your kids to soccer practice, or as Dawn, what's up, Dawn? Basketball practice for her son. Don't pick the time when you're driving to study. Well, Jay, I'm going to study at 4, but I might take my son to practice. Don't pick 4. Pick 9 p.m. when you know you can't be interrupted. Like you got to take this thing hardcore serious, man.
Yeah, like right now where we're recording, it's like I had to put Alani down, but I'm like, here we are.
Here we
Stay
are.
ready so you don't have to get ready. Show up to practice, and you won't show up like the guy from the 49ers where he didn't know the rules of the game. And
That is
not
wild.
saying it cost him the game, but now you look like a
It
fool.
didn't help. It
It
didn't
didn't
help,
help.
right?
I was thinking we could skip this other one I had about the
Okay.
that one there. We could go straight to the finisher here. And I'm gonna
Okay.
read off some stats, and I want to know who you think came out in a winner for this one. So
Cool.
that
And after this, I have one more question for you after this. But I just want to say that before I forget it. Okay, cool.
okay. So the winner of the Super Bowl wasn't the 49ers. The winner of the Super Bowl technically was the Chiefs, but the real winners of the Super Bowl were Usher and Queen Bee, Beyonce. Are you a Queen Bee fan? Are you a
All
Beehive?
right. So I don't comment publicly about people's wives. I just think it's rude. But I'm not in the Beehive. No, I
Okay,
like some of her
cool.
songs, but I'm not like y'all
Okay,
in that
cool.
house.
Long standing
But
member over here. Don't
I,
20. Our first concert was 2012. Listen, everybody's going to concerts today. Can you show me a picture from 2012 when you was
nah,
going to
y'all go hard with the Beehive.
concert?
So I said it. But
So
she killed that blonde piece that she had on, fam. She killed
she-
that look. She
she's a very attractive woman. I'll just say
and
that.
and I like Beyonce's looks, but I'm not like one of those flaunting at the mouth
Weirdos about
Beyonce
it.
fans. But she respectfully, she killed that look. Okay, keep going.
Respectfully, I love that. So winners of the Super Bowl, Usher and Beyonce were the true winners. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because we're talking about branding, we're talking about building businesses, we're talking about making billions and millions of dollars.
Yep.
Now, there were two ways that this can be done. So one way of advertising and branding was getting your stuff promoted during the Super Bowl, like what Kanye did. The
Mhm.
other thing was performing during the Super Bowl halftime, like Usher did.
Yep.
What Beyonce did was a little unique. She did a Verizon commercial during the halftime, which is probably one of the
Yeah, it
best
was
commercials
good.
they had.
It
Did you
was
see the
good.
commercial?
I saw it. It was good. I didn't see it live because we were drinking and talking about it, but I saw the
So
replay. Yeah.
Beyonce had an amazing commercial, but what she did was she at the very end of that commercial, we knew that something was going to happen because Beyonce doesn't do commercials.
She doesn't.
At the end of the commercial, she said that I'm going to break the internet. And she's like, drop my music. We went scrambling on our phones, on our tweets. We were trying to figure out where this song was, where the music was, and we had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing that was staggering was Beyonce got paid $30 million
What?
from Verizon to take part in that ad for an 18-hour shoot.
Whoa.
I don't know if these numbers are correct. I'm just reading it from the CBS News, Daily Mail
That's
Online,
reputable. Yeah, that's
Yahoo
reputable.
Finance, USA Today.
That's reputable.
Let's say it's not 30 million. Let's say it's not, because that's a lot of money. Let's say it's not. Let's say it's 10 million. She got paid 10 million. Let's say it was 5 million. Verizon has to pay to be in a Super Bowl commercial. So they have to pay millions, and then they have to pay Beyonce millions. Beyonce doesn't pay anything, and she gets to promote her name, her likeness, her brand, her music.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts on that? I'll give you the floor there. She got paid to promote her album and her rollout.
When you're great enough at something, people are happy to pay you. That's it. Now you and I probably won't get $30 million for a speaking gig. Okay. But we can get 30.
I'll take 30.
We can get 30. So this is what I call going all in on your business. Now Verizon has years and years of case studies to know that this will work. But this is what you call going all in on your business. I've known many people, I mean, I've done this, who have gotten paid from a job. I was looking at an invoice from a few years ago. It was like 16,000. And there's times I went back and put the 6 or 10 back in the business. And there's times where I did it. But they went all in on what was working. They went all in on something. So even for us as lower income earners,
Much lower.
much lower for now.
Much lower.
Who knows? It's a long life. We can figure something out. But are you willing to invest back into your business? One, and I am. So this YouTube channel is going through a makeover. I am running ads consistently for the first time in years. Right, paid ads. That's a risk. I have a new website guy, and I'm branching out my company, my physical notary company, not my coach company, different sectors, more sectors. I'll take it over the web. So yeah, they're going all in. I know the feeling. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but you can't scale until you go all in. And how do you get paid this kind of money? Be great at something. That's it. That is it. Be phenomenal as something. Don't be a jack of all trades, Jill of all trades. She's iconic for her singing. She's iconic for her personality. She's getting paid for it. And now my challenge to people who are listening to this: what are you going to go all in on? Have you gone all in, or
Have
have
you
you
gone
been?
all in on anything?
It's not called. It's not called a dabbler, Anthony. A dabbler is the network marketing for 3 months, quit. Home cleaning business, quit. Appraiser, quit. Um, chef, okay, part time, all right, but you never really went all in, so you're known for something. So I could easily refer you for two, three different things just because I know you're great at it. So that's my 2 cents, brother.
So let me ask you this.
Hmm.
So being known for one thing, right? So
Hmm.
Beyonce's known for singing. Beyonce's known for R&B. Now she's moved over into the house music.
Hmm.
Is that's a music type, house music. Now she's promoting a country music album. So
Fire.
does that hurt or help her brand if she's known for one thing? Or is
But
she big enough where she can now switch over
bingo.
and take that over now?
She's big enough, but it's still music.
Still music, still the same genre.
It's still music. She had the concert that y'all went to at least once or twice, right?
Yep.
Um, she sold tickets to the concert, obviously. Then she sold the DVD or the movie. A movie
Yeah, we
came out
went we
of the
went to the movie.
concert.
We went to the movie too. Yep, yep.
Talk about
We wore the
going
same
all in.
outfits too.
Talk about multiple streams on one thing.
Right?
Uh, so yeah, she diversified within her industry, and she diversified at the right time. She didn't try to be known for all of these things today. I know that media game, so like I'm all in on media, right? Which is what we're doing right now. I'm all in on shows, creating shows. We'll see what sticks, but I'm all in on media because I just know the potential of having a great media brand. This is going to take probably years to grow. All right, cool. I still have my other stuff that's safe and steady, that's working. I'm okay with it taking long. I'm okay with this not being overnight. I see Unc and Chad, Shannon Sharp and Chad, like, man, I could do that. I could have a show with someone like that. Like I get those kind of views. I'm okay with waiting. But Beyonce became great. You can make more money when you become great. People are happy to pay you when you become great. Somebody paid me, I think, $2,000 the other day. Other people paid less, but they paid me because they felt me, that they looked at me as someone who's great at what I was doing. It's so much easier to make money that now it's more boring. I have to think every day, how many ways can I say this same thing again and make it fun? It is tough.
It's not as tough as doing the same concert every single night
Yeah,
for 300 days.
damn, that's a lot.
Sore voice. I'm tired. I'm sleepy, but I gotta do the same song,
Same songs.
same order. Sometimes we might switch it up. I might change
Hmm.
the outfit up. But how long can you do the same thing? How long can you be known for one thing? So when people reach out to you, it's like, I'm going to this person for this one thing because I know they're good at it.
Let's
That
look at
takes time.
let's look at David's channel real quick. The social proof number. Shout out to David and his crew over there. Social proof.
And then we're gonna move into the opposite of this. Shout out to my community, y'all. Y'all sticking in. What's up, Karen? If anybody's on here, y'all
Hey,
can say what's
community.
up. I'm reading. I
All
know
right.
we on live here, but I'm reading.
He dropped the podcast today, every Monday. He dropped the one yesterday, Sunday, even Super Bowl.
Okay.
He still got the podcast. Dropped the one last Monday. Dropped the one Thursday. He live. I think he uploads some of the morning meetup calls too as well. He has a
Yep.
show Friday
Consistently.
now. Drop that. He said he was late. I think he was late because he was at a school speaking, but he was there. Podcast Summit launch party where they had guests come in from previous podcasts. What I'm saying is, it's here. It's literally here. Like, it is here. He is here. How this is what defines people, fam. This simple stuff. And a lot of people get angry because, I'm better than him, I'm better than her. And a lot of times, you know what? I think
You might be.
probably could be if I'm being raw. I have people who are way smarter than me, just academically, but I cook them because I'm just gonna go, and they're still
Consistency
thinking
wins.
about shit. I am going to go, win, lose or draw. I'm going.
How often can you show up when it's not easy? How often can you show up when you don't want to do it? How often can you show up when it's hard? How often can you show up when you ain't got nothing to do or say? You just said, I'm going to show up and see what happens. Right. So sometimes we just got to show up consistently, practice consistently. You see the theme that we getting out here. And on that same note of showing up and being consistent, so Beyonce got paid to promote her album and song rollout by Verizon.
Yeah.
Usher, on the other hand, he performed at the halftime show and he got paid an exposure.
Hmm.
So he knew he wasn't getting paid, but he knew he was getting exposure. And I want to read some of the stats when it comes to like the Super Bowl halftime show. So Apple Music pays the NFL $50 million to sponsor the Super Bowl.
Damn.
And I'm reading this from Joe. This is Joe Palampo. Sorry, I'm butchering your name. Anyway, $50 million, and maybe I'll tag him. Sorry if this gets out there. I don't like people butchering my name if they can't say it.
Hmm.
So the world's most famous artists have all performed at the Super Bowl. Prince, Michael, Bruce, Beyonce, Justin, Rolling Stones, Rihanna. None of them got paid.
Mm.
NFL signs a $50 million sponsorship. Artists get a $15 million production budget, which covers 2,000 to 3,000 part-time workers, designers, security, artists, dancers, marketing. Artists don't get any of that money. Some people end up spending $1 million for that halftime performance. But
Wow.
here is where the real exposure takes place. So Usher, as like Justin Timberlake, he saw a 534 increase in music sales after. Travis Scott's performance fee doubled from 500 million to 1 million after the Super Bowl. J-Lo grew 3 million Instagram followers overnight.
Wow.
And Usher just released his new album
Mm.
and he announced a worldwide
Sure.
performance.
Mm.
So here is where the win-win comes in for Usher. His Spotify streams are up 550%.
Damn.
His concert ticket sales are up over 40% overnight. And
It's crazy.
38% of the total tickets that they have sold for his tour came from last night's Super Bowl performance, with Sunday Super Bowl performance. So, was it worth it getting paid an exposure?
For him,
Or would you
yes.
rather get paid like Beyonce did?
That's a good question. The 30 or the exposure? I mean, 30 is 30. Let's even call the 35. What I think, $5 million or the exposure? Interesting. Yeah, something about, and just for the other entrepreneurs, people, let's say on that 150 to to 500 level or so a year. When is doing free stuff too much? When is it too much free stuff?
So
That's a good conversation.
So I think when you first start, actually, you know what? This is it right here. So people say you should only do free when you first start, but when you get really good at it, you shouldn't do free. But
People, yeah,
Usher just showed us what happens when you do free for the right person at the right time.
free for the right person at the right time. And the thing about consistently doing free is you can lose some value within yourself, and
Mm.
you could become bitter. You could become bitter at people and your own craft if you do too much free stuff. So for me, it's a balancing act, right? For me, it's a balancing act of what to do and when to do it. Free stuff has maybe millions. Free stuff has led to exposure, a couple $1 million. Um, you got to start somewhere. And a lot of people like you, like me, we do free webinars. I don't know about weekly, but all the damn time, definitely monthly. So it, it has a benefit. My thing is this: if you do free, it got to be fire. You can't do free stuff like you aren't getting paid.
You
You do
you
free
can't
stuff,
half-ass
bringing
free.
it fire. Not bingo. Like if I'm on a podcast, I'm answering every question because I know I'm not worrying about it being in the course because I have so much information to teach. I can give you 45 minutes of straight heat, and have 4 more hours to go over with you in the training. So My rule for free is I'm stepping there. I'm bringing my A game. Uh, but I do have a limit to who and when I'll do free stuff for.
So when you do free, you show up as if you're gonna get as if you were getting paid, like
You would
Beyonce.
never know. You would never know.
So being showing up as if you were getting paid always, right? Don't
Yep.
half-ass free.
Hmm.
But then also, I mean, doing free things has gotten us to even connect. So if you think about
Yeah.
it, I've done tons and tons of free podcasts where I didn't get paid, and that allowed me to connect with some dope people that got me connected to you.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's not about. We actually got invited out to a conference to come speak on stage, and I said we got to get a Lonnie situation figured out first before we go anywhere. But
Hmm.
I was like, absolutely. I was like, why not? Why wouldn't I go somewhere to speak on stage to your crowd? And worst case scenario, I meet some new people and it eventually connects me to somebody else, or I get
Yeah.
connected there. So I agree with you. You don't want to dilute if you have built up something that people are paying for. You don't always want to give it away for free.
Yeah.
But there are times and places where you should absolutely. Now, how would you distinguish when you would do something for free versus paid?
It depends on where I'm at. Depends on how much money I have. To be honest with you.
Do I
So
need the money or do I not need the money?
yeah, that's real. That's I mean, like I'm not rich yet. So all this stuff matters. My IRA's not maxed out for the year yet. So like I think about that kind of stuff. It, I think of how much money am I gonna make in sales. So last week I did a free fire, like literally fire. I sit in the house all day, the day of the training, just to make sure that I brought the heat. I taught in someone else's community. I dropped heat. Make it was like that class on its own could have been 200, 300 for real. After it was done, I made $5,000. So the free thing, it made me $5,000. Now, let's say that I would have said, "Yeah, like I'll come do it, but I need 500. I need $1,000." It would have been fair because it was worth it, and they're getting paid. But I said, "All right, it's cool. Like I'll make my money on the back end," and it worked. So, do I need the money? Is there travel involved, and how much travel is involved? And what's the likelihood that I feel that I can make the money back sooner than later? So far, for all my speaking engagements that I've gone to, whether I've driven or I've flown, I have made the money back typically the same day. I'm pretty good on stage, and I know what I'm talking about. So, and also, do I like the person? Do I? If I like you, I'll probably do it. So yeah. I do think though people shouldn't overdo the hey work for exposure thing. I do think if you're making money from an event, when possible, that they should pay the speakers. Yeah, I do
So
think
what about this? What about this situation? People don't make money from events. Number one, they most of the time they breaking even or
most
they
of they
losing.
break it. Yeah,
Most
yeah,
of them breaking
that's true.
even. This guy was listening to a podcast. He was like, I just spent $150,000 on an event, took my community to Cabo, and
Damn.
he was like, I lost like he's like, I was hoping to just break even. He was like, I lost like $10,000. He was like, hopefully the next event I break even. Most people don't make money from events. So
Hmm.
that in that instance, I understand. They're
Yeah,
trying to break even.
yeah,
So I find myself a lot of times like I do a lot of free stuff because I know that it will lead to things down the line.
yeah,
I'm not looking to get paid today in a lot of instances. I know that it might lead to something down the line. I'm not purposely going in with the intention of, oh, give me this, or I might need that favor. Or I might no, it's like I know if I put goodwill out there, it's always gonna come back. That's just the way I feel. Now,
hmm,
when it comes to free versus paid, I think in my instance, a lot of times it will be like this right here. You don't have to pay for this. We're in
that's
here.
true.
We're giving game. We're giving you our experiences. We're giving you our experiences. It's late at night, and we don't expect people to pay us for this. Like, if you want to drop some love, that's fine. But we know down the line it's going to lead to like Usher getting exposure.
Yeah,
Someone's going to find it, and eventually Verizon's going to pay us $30 million. So
there we
I'm
go.
looking forward to
Verizon hit my cash app. Let me drop it.
it. Verizon's not sending you $30 million in your cash app.
I send something, Verizon.
But no, it leads to exposure and
Yeah,
free content and goodwill. It always leads to positivity. So
yeah.
that's always the end goal. But Usher, I would say he definitely won. His album is up. His streaming sales are up. the millennials, the young millennials who don't know about him, the Gen Z, they have learned about Usher, and then hopefully that Alicia Keys and situation is beyond them at this point.
Bingo. And people need to know, like, and trust you. And when they see you, they have the opportunity to know, like, and trust you. So look at yourself as a media company. I
Mm-hmm.
think every entrepreneur who is using any ounce of their personal likeness, you are a media company, fam. You
That's
are
it.
media.
That's it. We are media companies.
We are
So,
media.
Dre, you said you had another question? Oh, you
I
forgot.
did, but I want to keep it till next week. So
Next week.
next week we're here every Monday. You forgot? Oh, it's right here. So no. I was going to ask you, when do you fire a client? When do
So,
you know to fire a client?
I think you know when to fire. I think you know when to fire a client before they become a client.
Bingo.
I think there are some red flags that you'll recognize early on, and I think I've become pretty good at recognizing those red flags. There will be some questions, comments, things that come up as like people talk about relationships and like, oh, this is a red flag, and you just ignored it. No, we don't ignore it. We already know it's a red flag. You just choose to proceed if you want to. When
Bingo.
you date that man or you date that woman, and you're like, oh, well, they did this, and you look back at the relationship like, yeah, that's a red flag. It was always a red flag. So I would say there are certain questions that people ask, and it's always a red flag. So for me, red flags for clients are normally how fast, when can I make my money back? Those are the two biggest ones I get.
Is this guaranteed?
Guaranteed. And then there's questions that are answered on the page that most people read and they don't ask it because they read it and saw it. And then they'll bypass that question and ask you directly as if it's not on the page. So that means that you're rushing through the information, you didn't read, and you came to me directly, which means that you're going to rely on me later on to answer basic questions for you. So
good one. And if someone has refunded you without you having to ask for a refund, you have been fired as a customer.
Definitely.
People
they give you or they quit.
Oh, they quit. So when to fire? So the same questions that you said, I figure, because people are looking for me to give them a guarantee on their work ethic when I don't know them.
That's a hard one. How can I guarantee something for you if I don't know you from a hole in the wall?
You want me to guarantee your work ethic, so either you don't believe the reviews or you don't believe that you can achieve them. I mean, I got them everywhere. I got them for years. But I give no guarantees on what you're going to do. Based upon the success, here goes the break. What I have people make 100K a year. With my rough numbers, about 10 to 12% of people make total of 15 make 100K plus a year. Why do some make it and not others? Some don't want to. Some just need an extra $500 a week, $2,000 a month, and they're good. Some don't put in the work. Some don't reinvest the money. But I want to quit my job. Can I make the $12,000 a month in the first month? I can't help you. I can't give you guarantee. I don't know you.
I think it's very similar to the overtime situation. So you got one person who didn't know the rules and the other person who knew the rules, went to the strategy meetings every single week for the playoffs and then again for the Super Bowl, and they happen to win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So you win the Super Bowl by showing up, not only showing up, knowing the rules, knowing how to play, and then also working your way down the sidelines, man, working your way to the end zone. But they won because they knew the rules.
They won because they knew the rules. So
Beyonce or Usher, who won? Or did both of them win?
Oh, both. There's no. I mean, you got paid 30. He probably sold out. He probably raised the prices after Super Bowl one. He might have made 30.
And I think the next step for me for Usher in his trilogy, he's reinvented himself so many times. And I think from a branding and a business perspective, we don't know much about him outside of music. So I think that would be the next step.
Him and Beyonce and Kendrick Lamar have mastered the exclusivity part that leads to mystery, that leads to having people want more. So some people are always out there. I would consider Kevin Gates an always out there guy, but it works for him. Uh, Beyonce, Kendrick Lamar, Usher, like they just like are kind of hidden, which they leverage when they pop out. It's like a big deal. So now they want, fam. If you go up 500% in streams, you probably sold out your tour dates for the next 2 months or the first 2 months. You get paid 30 for a day's worth of work. I can't consider any of that loss. But here's what Beyonce also did was she leveraged that opportunity for the album sales, which made her more money. Multiple streams of income for one business. Shout out to them. Genius.
So Beyonce and Usher both won. And I think Usher, his next phase with his tour, and if he does like Beyonce did with her behind the scenes of the Renaissance and more about her personal life, I think if Usher did that, that would be another phase of his life where he just shows you more about his personal life and what he's done and what he's accomplished, because he's been around as long as I've been listening to music. So
I was 4. I remember 14, 13, 14ish when he started to have hits. He's a couple years older than me, probably. So I'm 41, 42 in April. He's probably 45-ish. So he's been relevant for my whole teenage to adult life. 45.
Yeah,
the whole entire time. It's amazing. It is truly, truly amazing. You know what we're talking about next time? The investor versus the entrepreneur. Which one's better? Which one's better?
If y'all like this episode of Anthony and Andre Anthony show, let us know. We wanna keep this thing going, y'all.
Keep it going, and drop your question below. And if you're a woman who's okay with dating a man who makes less money, what are the parameters, and what's the dollar amount where it's too much of a difference? So drop that below. Anthony, good seeing you pimping. Tell Alani I said hi. Hope Janoko enjoys Trinidad.
Yes, sir. Dre, good seeing you again. I'll talk to you later.
Peace out, pimping.